So this is the video. I'm going to run a few exercises from the Key of A Boot Camp aerobics tablature. And I'm just going to run it nice and slow. This will be the first one on the list at the top. And it's a hammer-on exercise, and then it's a pull-off exercise. And so what we want to do, got my first finger on my 5th fret. So that's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to be on the 5th fret. First finger is always going to be on the 5th fret for this exercise. It never leaves that. We're going to alternate between the 8th and the 7th for the other 2 fingers. So starting at the top string, we're going to go 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, same string, 5, 7, next string, 5, 7, next, same string, 5, 7, next string, 5, 7, next, same string. And that's all up to 5, 8, and then we start moving backwards. 8, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5. Moving on to 7. Let's try that again. The thing to keep in mind when we're going forward is make sure when you do a hammer-on that your first finger doesn't come off the strings. So we've got 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 8. And then we're going to move backwards. And when you do a pull-off, the same thing. It's actually very important that the anchor finger, your first finger, always stays down. That's how you get both notes out of the pull-off. So 8, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. Now timing is equally as important. Just playing the notes in a random sort of time signature isn't really the point of the workshop. It really has to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 4, 3, no, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and those are what we call eighth notes. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so forth. The important thing first though is the notes. Timing is second, notes are first. You have to hit the exact right notes before you start worrying about the timing. If you can do both at the same time, that's great. Feel free. That will help you. Number 2, it says bends, and in parentheses it says to discuss technique. We're just going to do 2 more exercises, then I'm basically going to have to be finished. Number 2 is what we call the bend, and then the 8th note, 4 8th notes. Dun, 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 dun. The bend is going to be worth 2 beats, what we call a half note. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. We're just going to hold that. Now the bends themselves, I tend to use a pinky on this one. You can use a 3rd finger as well. It's just hard to get down to these next 2 notes. But when you bend, you don't bend with just 1 finger. You bend with 3, at least 3. All at the same time. The finger that's the most important is this finger must stay on the string in order to keep that particular note going, but the strength comes from 3 fingers, like so, or with the 3rd finger off the 8th fret. So 8th fret, 2nd string, bend up, and then coming down on 8th without a bend, 5th, and then on 3rd string, 7, 5. So that first measure is up on 8, and then 8, 5, 7, 5. And then up on 7 on that same string. 1, 2, 7, 5, 7, 5. And then back to 7. One more time. Also, again, bending with more than 1 finger. You don't bend with just 1. You bend with many. I'm going to go to the 3rd exercise here, which is just a variation on the last one we just did. The last one we did 1 bend with a 2 beat note. We're going to do 2 bends on 1 beat note. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to do that technique where you lay the pinky down here. We're going to bend up on this string like so. But we're going to drop our pinky on that 8th fret of the 2nd string and try and keep it still while we bend with these 3 fingers up. It's a very common blues technique. So once again, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Again, that's this bending technique where if you imagine you're bending up on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, but at the same time having your pinky down on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, it makes that sort of train came a rolling sound, and that is, of course, in the key of A, sorry. And now if we're looking at the mutes, number 3 or the number 4, I guess we'll give a couple more. These are quarter note mutes where we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to bar the 5th fret of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string, or the D, B, and G. So timing wise, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And make sure when you come down on the mutes, you're hitting all the strings, but when you come down on these 3 notes, you're only coming down on the 5th fret. Now I wanted to do this exercise with my electric guitar, but it is packed away at my office, so it's going to be all acoustic. The next exercise on mutes is 8th note mutes. Where it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now that move was the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 5th fret, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string, 5th fret, and then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and string 7th. So for moving through the mute exercise, we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And you want eventually to go 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3. The whole goal is to pick that stuff up, you know. And then the following exercise, as you'll see on the 8th note exercise, you see 2 mutes tied together by a little bracket underneath. Those are 8th notes. Now in the next exercise, you'll see 2 bars in the bracket and 4 notes, 4 mute strums tied together. That is a 16th note mute strum. What that means is for every beat, there's going to be 4 strums, like 1, 2, say 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and that's how we count it. Now I'm going to go with this really slow and just see how that goes. So the first is, and it's going to be a little different, it's going to be 7 to 5 instead of 7 to 5, or 5 to 7. So we're going to, starting at 1, 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E, oh, sorry, 1 E and 2 and 3 E. I'm going to have to start that one again. Oh no! 1 E and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 E. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E. And fast, it would be 1 E and 2 E and 2 E. So that's a good start.